A very good morning to all of you who are here, and a big, big thank you to all the organizers who have spent so much time and effort to get us here. I am here all the way from Mumbai, and yes, I'm a practicing psychiatrist for the last 27 years, and I'm here to share a little journey with you. In June of 2017, on a rainy evening, a family went out to dinner. After they had finished dinner, the young boy, 25-year-old, decided to drop his family back and told his parents that I'm just going to meet my friends, I'm going for a drive, and I'll be back in half an hour. And what did he do? He takes a taxi, goes to the Mumbai Sea Link, the Worli Sea Link, that I'm sure all of you have been at some stage, and decides to jump off. The next day, the family is looking for him. WhatsApp, social media is full of people looking for him, finding him. Friends are being contacted. And yes, the cops drag his body out. I'm here to talk to you about suicide, something that is a reality today. Every 3 seconds, someone thinks of taking their life. Unfortunately, every 40 seconds, someone succeeds. A total of reported 8 lakh suicides every year. And the unfortunate truth is that 1/3 of them are from India. Why is it that people do this? What happens to them? Have we become weak? Have we become sissies? Is it that we don't want to face life any longer? Do we want to take the easy route out? Just near the sea link, there was another boy who checked into the hotel, a 5-star hotel, and started live messaging on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, telling his friends how he was fed up of life and was going to take the final plunge. Of course, his friends thought he was joking. Why would he want to kill himself? He was 24, he had his full life ahead of him. And yet, he decided to jump out, to break open a window and jump out of that door. Every 40 seconds. And the unfortunate part is that most of these people belong to this age group of 15 to 29. When life is so rosy, you have all the opportunities in front of them. And yes, so much is done to combat terrorism in our world today. But who is going to save you from yourselves? Why is it that some people can go on struggling and, keep on taking challenges? And why is it that there are those who cannot even live within themselves? What makes them different? Who are these people? Yes, most of them are youngsters, teenagers. India has the highest number of teenagers killing themselves in the world. Is it only teenagers? No. Our geriatric population, our elderly population is also very close. They're a close number 2. And then we've all heard of farmer suicides. But let me tell you, housewives commit suicide 6 times more than farmers. Can children ever think of killing themselves? I have seen a 6-year-old who fooled a lot of people, telling them that, she had actually climbed up and taken her mother's anti-epileptic pills and taken an overdose of that. And told everybody that, oh, I thought they were sweets and I have taken this. And as I sat with her in a session of play therapy, she shared with me as to how unloved she felt because she thought the mother loved her elder brother because there was a glass of milk which was given to the elder brother and she did not get any milk every day. Where are these people? They are amongst us. You look around and they are amongst us. 1 out of every 5 teenagers is reported by the WHO to be suffering from depression. But do they come up to us and tell us that they are depressed? Of course not. Because the minute they will come up to you and tell you that, I'm feeling depressed, without even listening to them, we will start telling them about why they should not be depressed. Nobody is allowed to feel depressed in our country. If I see youngsters who bring their friends to meet me and say that, I wanted to come and see you because I thought this is an illness, but my parents and my teachers won't agree. That is because the stigma of visiting a psychiatrist in our country. Are you mad? Are you mad? You want to see a psychiatrist? No. You're perfectly fine. Come on, just study hard and it will all go away. And what happens to this youngster one day? Yes, the helplessness, the hopelessness, the worthlessness of his life looms larger. It's like that, as if there's something stuck in your throat. It won't go down and it won't come out. And then you take the final plunge. You decide that life is not worth living any longer and try to kill yourself. What do you see next? Well, if you're successful, there is no next. But if you're not successful, you will see a family doctor telling you how shameful it is to try and kill yourself, about how you're going to spoil the family name. Your parents are looking at you angrily and telling you, come on, if you did not want to study, you should have just told us this. Do you know how much this has cost the family? And yes, and then there are people, we all have free advisors in our country who will come and tell you that why don't you take him for a holiday? She's just stressed out and these kids take so much stress. And no one understands that you could be suffering. Just as you suffer from a physical illness, you could just be suffering from a depression, a schizophrenia, or anxiety disorder, or anything else. Are these the only causes of suicide? No. But literature shows us that 2 out of 3 people who are trying to kill themselves are depressed. And what is even worse is that a lot of them are intoxicated at that time. One study showed me that 75% of people who were trying to kill themselves were under the influence of alcohol. And this is something that we are facing. But there are so many myths about suicide which are going around in our country. The religious don't try to kill themselves. If you're mentally brave, you won't kill yourself. And the worst one is people who talk about suicide will not attempt it. Very far from the truth. In fact, people who kill themselves have spoken. At least 7 out of 10 people have given clear-cut indications to others, and they are telling them that I want to kill myself. But why are they telling them that? Because they actually want to be saved. They do not want to kill themselves. Then there are those who feel that, if he's talking about killing himself, what can I do? Anyway, he's going to go and do it. That's not true. They want you to listen to them. They want you to listen to what they are saying, and more than that, what they are not saying. So where are these people? Some of them are sitting in their houses, locked up, cooped up, while their friends are all around. And their only contact with the world, unfortunately, is social media. What do they see? Everyone's having great lives, and they are going through something horrible. Some of them are confused with their own sexuality. They do not understand what is happening to them. They wonder whether they are homosexual or whether they are bisexual, and they do not even know who they can talk to. So they remain cooped up there. They do not like their bodies, and they're struggling with body image issues. And they sit there, right there, wondering what is to be done. Their parents try to reach out to them. Parents love their kids. They want to reach out to them. But what happens is that in teenagers, depression can sometimes be expressed as anger or refusal to do anything. So these are the kids who will not have their bath, who will not eat, and they will not want to communicate with anyone else. And of course, their grades start falling. And then there are those who go out there and try to tell people that they do not want to live. And how do they say it? They just say that, oh, by my next birthday, you won't see me here. Or, it was great to know you. Or suddenly they'll come and give you a little gift. Or if you look at elderly people, they might just want to wrap up all their businesses. Of course, our country has also seen financial stress, and the number of suicides with that has also increased. So this is actually an epidemic which is here. And the best part about this is that no, I do not require millions of rupees to be spent. Anyone can make a difference. Each one of you sitting here can make a difference by just paying attention to these signs. As doctors, whenever a baby is born, there's so much joy, there's so much rejoicing. But 10% of these women go through depression, and hardly there's any inquiry about their mental health. So what happens to this new mother? She starts feeling inadequate, she doesn't know what to do. And we read the newspapers, a young lady jumps out with her child. That was just a postpartum depression or psychosis which was not looked at. The lady gave us enough signals, but we did not pick it up because nobody talks about suicide. At any young death, you go there and people will discuss how cardiac illnesses have increased, and then in hushed whispers, somebody will say, do you think he killed himself? Why hushed whispers? Why do we even use the word committing suicide? Yes, suicide was a crime. Now it has been decriminalized. And that is something that each one of us can help. Now, how can we help? We can help by just listening to the person. If somebody talks about killing themselves, what do? We get uncomfortable because we don't know how to deal with them. And we change the topic. But just imagine, if I had to have a heart attack right here, right now, what would you do? You would just leave everything else and rush me to the hospital. But if somebody talks about killing themselves, just because we are uncomfortable, we say, oh, let's talk about something else. Life is so beautiful and all of this. And we change the topic. And then we go back and either gossip with our loved ones, but that is our own inadequacy. But what can be done is something so simple. Just leave whatever you're doing. Take the person to a corner and address the issue. And the most important thing is to listen to them. To listen why, to listen to what they are saying. Why are you feeling like this? Allow them to talk. Do not interrupt. Give them a shoulder. Look into their eyes and listen with your heart. And give the person the confidence that he or she can talk to you, that you are going to listen to them and you are going to do your best even though you're not a mental health professional. You are going to do your best to help them get to the other side. This could be over a party. Do not leave the person alone. Ensure that there is someone with them. And make an appointment with them and tell them to come and meet you and understand why they are feeling like this. Since when are they feeling like this? And yes, you may not have the answers. I have seen suicidal individuals who come to me and say that, I don't want to live, and how can you change? I have a debt of X amount. How can you change that for me? And I tell them, I said, yes, you're right. I cannot change your debt. But maybe we can sit and look at different options, because I definitely believe that debt is not the answer. And when you listen with your heart, when you show them that you care, you give them the confidence that they can talk to you, that they can get over their helplessness, their hopelessness, and their worthlessness. And yes, what do you do next? You first of all, you convince them that they need to take help. There are a lot of mental health specialists in our country today who are willing to help them. You help them fight the stigma that it is smart to take help, just as you have malaria and dengue and you take help for that. The same way you take help for mental illnesses. And yes, you're not even sure if it's an illness or if it's a phase of life. But when you go with them and you give them that confidence and sit with them, with the doctor or with the psychiatrist or the psychologist, and help them and keep a watch on them at least for the next 3 months. This is something that you should never swear secrecy to. Because if someone is suicidal, you must involve the family members. But that does not mean that tomorrow if your friend comes and tells you that, I want to kill myself, does not mean you that pick up the phone and start calling everybody else. It just means that first, when they are comfortable, then you take them to the next step and tell them that, okay, come on, we need to involve your family in this. Who do you trust? There's always one person in your family or friend circle that we trust. And with the help of that person, you must help them in the recovery of their journey. What are the things that we do not do when someone is suicidal? We don't leave them alone. We don't gossip about them. We don't let them down. And yes, take them to a safe environment. So, there's been a lot of talk about, let's keep firearms away. In fact, there was also something that people were saying is we should get rid of fans. Of course, these things are not possible. Keeping firearms away at that moment helps. So taking them away to a safe place helps. But at the same time, what really helps them is helping them to reconsider. A lot of us have felt suicidal at some point or the other. And what did it take? It took just 1 or 2 caring individuals to put a hand on our shoulder, to comfort us, to understand us, not to give us lectures, to help us tide over the crisis. And today, it is a national crisis that we are talking about. Our schools, our doctors need to be equipped. Our schools need counselors. As we do physical checkups, we need mental health checkups. In every company, in every school, in every college, we need to identify those who talk about being suicidal and then those who do not talk about it. Does everyone suffer from depression? No. There could be those who are suffering with personality disorders. We've all heard about the blue whale. There was so much excitement about the blue whale. And, it's as if we need to blame someone else. But I was very happy with that because at least we are addressing the problem today, and that is of suicide. They walk amongst us. Depression is so high. 1 out of 4 individuals is suffering from depression. But depression is invisible. If you have a fracture, you can see it. This is a fracture of the mind. We can all see it if we open our eyes wide, if we open our hearts wide, if our arms are wide enough to gather them and lead them to help and stay with them. Death is not the answer. Suicide is a cry for help. Let's help them. Let's get them to the other side. Thank you so much.